Session 14, and we have a full house today. Well, not a full house, but a very full house. So either this is really, really positive feedback from you guys saying you love these sessions so much because you're on week 13 now, or it's me being completely bloody useless. You guys still have to appear at these because you're not getting what you want to. Keep saying this every time. But yes, I'm gonna be a glass is half full kind of guy. And once again, say thank you to you guys for coming. And obviously, it really is benefiting you. And today we're going to talk about LinkedIn voice messages. And once again, I'm going to go to the most important diagram, which you guys are so sick of, it's never going to end, which is the sales conversion gap. Now, there has been some weird things with Zoom lately. So if you cannot see the diagram with the sales conversion gap on it, please unmute and let me know now while I carry on talking, because sometimes Zoom doesn't show certain screens, but hopefully you guys can see this. Right. So you guys all know this now anyway. It shouldn't need to be reiterated. But the sales conversion gap is where your money is. And LinkedIn voice messaging is another way to get people out of the gap. Really what this course is about is, yes, it's about how to do prospecting. We're going to bring in some experts, some special guests to talk about closing. We're going to talk about other LinkedIn stuff. The prospecting stuff, the nurturing stuff, we've been through that. It's not that difficult to do once you've built your machine. You have your captivating one-liner, you're sending out your messages. This is your problem. And like the waterfall analogy that I often use, for those of you guys who've seen my Kung Fu presentation, and I've got one, I can send it to you guys and take a look at it as well. I talk about the movement creates the power. If you look at the waterfall on top, as the waterfall goes up, right? So if you've got a waterfall and you watch your waterfall, water come down and it crashes into the bottom, that is your relationship building. It looks like the water's all tranquil. At the top, imagine a liter of water at the top of the waterfall, right? It's chilling there, it's moving, and then it like hovers. And then if you watch it, it doesn't look like anything's happening. But when it hits the bottom of the water, it explodes. And that's how that's one of the analogies we use in Kung Fu and creating what's called explosive energy or Faijing power. It's that explosion. And the point that I'm trying to make with you guys is, while you are doing your nurturing process and you're doing your diligence, and you're sending messages out, the professional insight messages that I showed you, and you're working with the people in this gap using the methodology that I've shown you, you are making a difference. They are probably reading your messages. They are almost certainly reading your LinkedIn messages. They are probably reading your emails as well. People freak out because they're not jumping into your lap for them to close. Life isn't like that. The thing you've got to remember, guys, is that we've given you a tool to see if people are clicking and interacting. And we've also given you a tool to simply show you who's in that gap. But the diligence is still required. And here's the thing. They are reading your messages. They know who you are. They respect you for being diligent, but still gentle. You are not hard selling them. The relationship is being nurtured. It's being worked on. If you meet a new lady in a bar or a guy in a bar and a couple of weeks go by and you're having occasional messages, you don't know what he or she is talking to their friends about behind the back. They could be going, oh, this is a really nice guy. I've actually met him. She's not going to come to you and go, my gosh, you're such a nice guy. You're so awesome straight away, and go, come, oh, please, let's get together as soon as possible. It doesn't work like that. But the effect of the wooing and the nurturing is still there. If they haven't told you to piss off, you're still in the game. That's basically how it works. And as long as you're gentle and nurturing and not hard salesy and not forcing yourself on somebody, you are making a difference. And I want you guys to understand that. And I want you guys to really resonate that, because LinkedIn voice messages, which we're going to talk about now, is such a great tool, but it's one of those things that you use with other things. And if they don't respond immediately, it doesn't mean it's not working. All right. I'm going to stop quickly because there is one massively important thing about LinkedIn voice messaging. In previous sections, we've gone through, Cherie's gone through it, Sally's gone through it, my special guests have gone through it with you guys. The importance of diligence, right? And the importance of keeping at it and keeping up with it. One of the best things you can do is eventually pick up the phone. And we've been through this, guys. They haven't responded yet, or but they are clicking. They might have responded. There might be a bit of a conversation going. They haven't begged you for a phone call. Best thing you can do is get on the phone. A lot of you guys are scared to do that. And some of you guys are quick. Some of you are not. If you're scared to pick up the phone, right? LinkedIn voice messaging is a really nice way of getting around having to phone them yet. It's another great way of procrastinating, and it can work really well, but you've got to be super careful. If you use LinkedIn voice messaging too early, it's going to crash and burn. That's why most people don't use LinkedIn voice messaging, because it's just going to annoy people if you do it too early. But if you do it in the right place, in the right way, and the right conduct, and the way you speak, it is incredibly, incredibly powerful and works incredibly well. And the real benefit from this, guys, is if you can do a great LinkedIn voice message and you can master a LinkedIn voice message, what you're actually learning to do and learning to master at the same time, okay, is the phone call. Because what you say on a LinkedIn voice message on the phone is very similar to what you're going to say to that person with a LinkedIn message, phone call, LinkedIn message, very similar. You see what's happening? So if you're not comfortable in picking up the phone and phoning people because you're shaking and too worried, right, to have a conversation with them. And in previous episodes, I've told you what you can say. Hey, Shirley, name's Scott. Just wanted to say hi. I know that I wrote the article above. I'd love to, I know you might have seen it. Just wanted to reiterate, but really the reason I'm calling is because I'm sick and tired of online and digital stuff. Sometimes it's just good to have a good old-fashioned heart-to-heart conversation with a real human being. It's a beautiful way to intro. So you guys can do that. You can follow the same methodology, and you can use the same idea. So by mastering a LinkedIn voice message, you're really getting close to mastering what to say on the phone. They're different, but still very similar. Makes sense, guys? If you want to learn how to get the guts to pick up the phone and speak to somebody live, you first got to have the guts to be able to send a LinkedIn voice message. All right. Hope that makes sense. So a skill on a LinkedIn voice message is hugely important. Firstly, what do you need? You need certain ingredients. You need a phone, and you need to have the WhatsApp. You need to have the LinkedIn app installed on your phone, and you need to be plugged in. So you've got to have the LinkedIn app on your phone. You can only send a voice message via LinkedIn using the mobile app. You can't do it from a desktop. So just please keep that in mind. So that's the main ingredient that you need. Also, you need to know that you need a 1-minute pitch already rehearsed. Write it down, get it ready, and prepare yourself, because LinkedIn only allows 1 minute, same as Facebook. You can do more than 1 minute pitches. So you can do a minute and then another minute and then another minute. You should never do more than 3, but actually you should never do more than 1, maybe 2. And I'm going to give you some really, really cool tricks on how to do this. Once again, I shouldn't have to reiterate this, but where are you in your sales process? Okay. In this gap process, you've connected with them on LinkedIn already. You've started the nurturing process and you've sent them your captivating one-liner, your article. Maybe you've got a conversation going, maybe you're not. You've sent them a professional insight message. You've probably followed up with an email, right? You've come back and forth a few times. Usually the LinkedIn voice message is step 3, 4, 5 down the line. Don't use LinkedIn voice messages straight away. Don't do it. You've got to first send them a professional insight message. If you don't know what a PI message is, please go back to my previous episodes where I specifically discuss how to do a professional insight message, those bold statements. All right. So now you've kind of earned the right to leave a LinkedIn voice message. So you're leaving a voice message and it's gentle and soft and it's conversational, and you want to reference. So write this down, guys. What you want to do is you want to reference what you've already done above. In other words, the pain that you're talking about. Now, everybody does a different voice message. I can't tell you what to say. It's always different, but it always starts with something gentle. And write this down as well, guys. The second thing it needs to do is it needs to establish your credibility. Don't sound like you're reading it off a script. Just sound really nice, really gentle. Just want to reach out to you very quickly. You know that there's a pain point. You discussed the pain point in the article above. You just want to reiterate it. And you want to say to them, I get your pain. I know what you're going through because ... What is ... Because I've been through it myself. I've coached other people through it. I've worked with other people on it. I've had clients. I do have clients that are going through it right now. I can give you insights from a lot of other people I'm dealing with right now that could be of real benefit for you. So you show them that you've been doing this for a while. You might want to throw in the fact you've been doing this for 20 years. If you're targeting the construction industry, I know what the construction's like. I know we've chatted to Mark before, and Mark talks about the logistics industry. Mark really knows the logistics industry and adds value. So he can talk about it and say, I know the logistics industry is such a screw up at the moment. You know, tank containers are now costing 300% more than they did, 400% more. There's a major problem in the industry. It's a real issue at the moment. And I just want to get some insight into how you're feeling about that. How's it impacting you? Don't necessarily ask them a question, right? But just reach out to them on LinkedIn, leave a voice message, and just reiterate what you're saying, but come from the heart, make it very much about them, and speak to them about their pain, and reference yourself in terms of credibility, and also reference potentially the article or whatever you've written above in your captivating one-liner. This is what builds your credibility. The goal of this LinkedIn message is not to get a response. The goal of the LinkedIn voice message is to reach out and genuinely show them that you feel their pain. Remember what I told you before, right? When you talk about the emotional cell and the rational cell, this is emotional cell. They have the rational stuff. They can scroll up and they can see what you've written in your article. They can go to your LinkedIn profile. They can go to your website. That happens offline. That's the rational cell. This is about the emotional cell. I know what you're going through. I've been through this before. I get it. There's a major problem in our industry. There's a major problem with your job title. I know it. I've got so many clients going through the same thing. I've been doing it 30 years myself. Show your credibility is understanding their pain. That's the goal of the LinkedIn message. And people are going, you've only got 1 minute for that? Yes. 1 to 2 minutes, maybe 3 at the most. But yes, you've got to get it there quickly and gently. Don't rush it, but just say it. Say it like it is. And a way to finish off that voice message as well is your second LinkedIn voice message, right? So you leave 1 minute, maybe a second minute if you really feel you're struggling. You've practiced it, all right, because you're really good at it. And if you don't like it, move it to the delete. Oh, yes. When you're doing a LinkedIn voice message and you get it wrong, you can swipe it to delete like you can on Facebook and WhatsApp and all that kind of stuff. Try not to get it wrong. Practice deleting it a few times. I've done a practice version and then got, oh, shit, that's wrong. And then accidentally not hit the rubbish bin and it sent the bloody message by mistake and you can't undo it. So practice. Make sure you practice it. So the person on the other side gets me saying, oh, shit, I've got this wrong. I'm going to do this again. And then it can be quite funny, but best to practice it. All right. So the final message you want to send, right? And this is kind of a key, is a little trick for you. And the trick is this. When you've left your voice message and you're happy with it, then you can leave another voice message, which might be the second voice message or the third. Never send more than 3. Please, goodness gracious, don't do that. A quick last minute one that you can send is you say to them, oh, yes, by the way, one more thing. I'm going to quickly post you an article in Forbes magazine or a case study or something out of this magazine or whatever research material. And it's actually interesting because it actually illustrates exactly what I've just said to you and what I've written about in my article. About 72% of these people do this, or 27% or whatever, or the actual predictions for the cost of shipping for logistics is actually going to be even higher in the next 12 to 24 months. So what you've done is you've reinforced your voice message, right, with more credibility. After the voice message, you post the link, right, with a tracking link. Always remember to post the tracking link so you can see that they've clicked on it. And what then happens is you've left your LinkedIn voice message or voice messages. You're then posting another link, right, to see if they actioned it. And that link reinforces what you've written above in your original article and your original messages. If they haven't read those messages, they're going to scroll up and they're going to click on it and they're going to read it and they're going to read your messages again, or for the first time if they've ignored you thus far. Right. Do you get what's happening, guys? You are creating a chat over a period of time. And if people aren't responding, they probably are like the water in the waterfall. They're probably getting ready to hit the bottom and boom, a big explosion and everyone's going to be happy and you're going to have a great meeting. But if they are ignoring you and they genuinely aren't really reading your stuff and you do a voice message after you've prepared that, you've created an accumulation of really awesome data and messages and links. That data is not lost. It's accumulated. So when you hit the right thing, they will scroll up and they will reread what you've posted. Because it's so soft and so gentle and so nice and about their pain, they are much more likely to start going back and clicking and actually really engaging with your content. Do you see what's happening, guys? Is this making sense? I hope so. So what are your ingredients? Simple. You need LinkedIn app on your cell phone. And I don't want to go into detail on how to do that. You can Google it. It's so easy. Just send it a voice message. You need to practice a script. By practicing this script, when you get good at doing voice messages, the call is going to be so easy. When you eventually get on the phone, you're just going to pick up the phone and you're going to say what I told you before, whatever you're comfortable with, but something along the lines of, I know we've been chatting on LinkedIn. I just wanted to have a real human discussion with you because, messages go back and forth. I know what you're going through. I wrote the article above. I'm writing on the subject. I really want to know how you're feeling at the moment. Bang, there's your phone call. It's in. It's all leading to that phone call. What's going to happen after that phone call? I always say this. I'm going to reiterate it again. Either they're going to say to you, thank you so much for this call. I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. Can we reschedule? In which case you reschedule it and you've got your rescheduled call. Done. Or they're going to say, yeah, sure, let's have a chat. And they're going to start talking. Yep. Just like a patient talks about the doctor. A doctor talks to their patient. Patient talks to their doctor. Yep. Doctor's writing down. You just have to listen. If you talk about their pain, they will talk to you. Your next art is to guide the conversation so they don't keep you on the phone for 2 hours, yapping away. You've got to keep it reasonable, but they're talking to you. Then after that, they're going to say to you at some point, so tell me a bit about you. I mean, you're a contractor, you're a consultant. You give them a 30-second answer and say, listen, it's not so important about me. I'll send you some stuff offline. But what really, I'm really just phoning to understand the pain. It's useful for me for further articles. It's great to get to know you. It's important to know people in the industry. It's great to make contacts. And that's the most important thing. Gee, love that. Great conversation. You have your egg ready, your one pager, you tweak it, you send over that egg. The egg is not a proposal directly. It's a one pager. Yes, it might have prices on it, etc., but it's a simple thing that they could get started with. Send off your egg. Done. Now you can wait. Just follow up in a couple of weeks. Keep the process, keep the momentum. That's how you do it, guys. That's how useful a LinkedIn voice message is. I don't want to waste half an hour today just talking about it because it really only is a 20-minute conversation on those voice messages and when to do them. I just want to finish off by talking about when not to do them and how you can go wrong. So when you don't use voice messages, don't use voice messages unless you're comfortable and you've rehearsed it. Don't use a voice message if it sounds like you're reading off a script. Absolutely not. Always be personal. Use their name in their company name. Make it completely personal to them so they know that this isn't just some blanket message you're sending out to everybody. So use voice messages. Only do it down the line in your conversation. Don't use it too early. It'll be a disaster. Don't make it too long. Don't waffle. All right. This is not about you. It's about them. Always get back to them and talk to them about them. This is about them, not you. So talk about their pain, reference your article, reference your captivating one-liner, and just keep talking about their pain. And that will help you get on your call. Some people respond, but you got to be prepared. Some won't. But now you're starting to guilt them into a phone call. Because if you do pick up the phone after 7 or 8 messages down the line, guess what's going to happen? They will take your call because you've almost guilted them into it. And they'll probably even apologize and say, you know what, mate, I'm really sorry. I haven't got time to get back to you. I should have got back to you. I didn't get time. I've just been really busy. Say, no, I know that. It's okay, cool. But really, I'm just calling, more about you. See, natural, gentle, easy. You're not selling. This is not a sales process. This is a relationship building process, building your credibility to help you understand it's about their pain. That's all it is. I absolutely assure you, this happened to me again, guys, just literally yesterday, 2 days ago. I got another prospect that after a period of time, after many chats with him, he's come back and said, okay, I need a proposal for your services now. And I gave him the egg. We're going to start off doing a workshop. This is where your money is, guys. And this process of getting them out of the gap is the most important thing you can do. This is your skill. If you get this right, then you are on a winning platform for your business. It's awesome. It's exciting. It's amazing. This bit here, mostly automated. This bit here, you have to do manual. And you only work the gap if you've got 30, 40, or 50 people in it or less. You do not work at this gap when you've got 200, 300, 400 people. That's why most CRMs fail, because they've got this huge database. They don't have time. You've got to bring it down to a small niche group of people who you really want to do business with. And if you have to cluster them, we've talked about clustering before, which is multiple people in the same industry, or sorry, not in the same industry, multiple people in the same organization. So if you're targeting Coca-Cola on LinkedIn, find 3 or 4 or 5 people in Coca-Cola. Leave them all voice messages. And then when you get some reactions, you can actually invite all 5 of them into a meeting. If you can get 3 or 4 people onto a meeting because you've nurtured them from the same organization, and they see the other people are invited to that meeting, what a pleasure. You're in for a beautiful conversation with them. And we'll talk more about those meetings and some of those special tricks in one of the many never-ending episodes that we have. So guys, that's LinkedIn voice messaging. I hope I've really helped you understand it. It just comes down to you. Let your personality shine through. Be gentle, be human, be about them, build your credibility subtly, but at the same time, talk about their pain. And that's all you guys have to do. That's simple. And just practice it. Come on, guys. You can do this. Make hay with it while the sun shines. I'm going to finish recording now. We're going to go into Q&A. One more thing, just a really good point. And I'd like to thank also Jason for just quickly giving us an example here. Is I'm just going to quickly, just from a technical perspective as well. So I'm just going to quickly share screens again. And Jason, just quickly, sorry, not on the app. I'll show you the app in a second. I'm going to just quickly show the slide. Multiple LinkedIn profiles. Just very quickly, I see Jason just left me a voice message there, which I've just played. And he says, hi, thanks for the message, which is great. I'll just play it again quick.
Yeah, hi, Scotty. I just thought I'd send a quick test message while you're doing the presentation.
So he's just quickly left me a voice message. And I just want to reiterate, when you leave a voice message using this methodology, I highly recommend that afterwards that you post the link that you talked about within the voice message. So if it's a Forbes magazine article or something in the industry or something like that, you can in the LinkedIn, in the voice message, you're saying that. You're actually saying, oh, by the way, one more thing, I will post a link underneath this, which links to an article in this magazine or this piece of research that says that 22% of blah, blah, blah. After you've left that in the voice message, you add it to the text message and you actually write in here, here's the link I mentioned in my article above. And then you do it as a tracking link, which means in the app, when you send it, the text message, obviously not the voice message, you send the voice message, but it's a really good idea to hop back on your desktop because you can only send the voice message from your phone. But from the desktop, it's a good idea to then go back and create a custom message and send a custom message from your desktop so that the tracking link can be inserted. So if I look at what Jason's example is, right? After Jason sent me that voice message, what he would then do is he would then send me, and here's the link as promised to the Forbes article with a tracking link so you can see whether I clicked on it. So that follows up. It's really useful to do that. So people will then are more likely to listen to the voice message and take it seriously if you add a piece of credibility to it and insight and get something to click on. And once again, it adds value to that whole list of communication that you're doing. It works really well, guys. It helps really build that credibility and gets them clicking and engaging with your messages.